Alright guys, Darren from Honest Money and welcome back to another video. So last week, for anyone that follows my channel on a regular basis, I didn't actually upload a video. Unfortunately, I was at a funeral, which has kind of led me on to the video that I'm going to make this week. It's not going to be your traditional business or financial advice video. It's more a case of getting you guys to just take a moment to take stock of your life and to make sure things are going in the right direction. So like I say, I was at a funeral last Monday, so that's why I didn't upload a video last week. Unfortunately, it was for my father-in-law, who after kind of a 7-week, very short and sudden battle with cancer, sadly passed away. But I think when you go to a funeral or when anyone passes away, it's always a time for obviously sadness for the person that's passed, but also a time of self-reflection for the people that are left behind. And I think that's something that many of us forget to do on a regular basis to make sure that actually we're going in the right direction. And this is something I actually discussed with a friend of mine last week. We were discussing what the most important things were in life to ourselves, and also just listening to each other's opinion on that matter. So something that I want you guys to have a think about at the moment. I want you to just sit there, just take a few minutes and just think about the 3 or 4 most important things in your life. And then once you've got that list, for example, for me, if I had to put together a list of the most important things in my life, number 1, probably fairly obviously, is family. So my wife, my son, and my dog. Number 2 is health, as without health, nothing else really matters. And then number 3, I would say, is my work-life balance. And I think that's one area that a lot of people do get wrong. And if you do get it wrong, then probably numbers 1 and 2 will suffer as well. A good point that my friend made when I was speaking to him last week, when I said those are my top 3, he said, what about money? And I said, yeah, that's a great point, because he said to me that he always feels like he's been struggling to make the right amount of money, so he feels like the others had suffered. So as he isn't making the money that he wants to make, that maybe his family have suffered as he hadn't been able to provide maybe what he wanted to provide, maybe his health has suffered as he's put so much stress on himself or so much pressure on himself to actually achieve what he believes he should be achieving. So just have a think about those things. What is really important to you? What are the things that are the most important to you in your life? And then think about whether you're actually doing the stuff in your life to make sure you're paying enough attention to those things. So a lot of us take our family for granted. A lot of us take our health for granted. Maybe you should be thinking about your life. Do you need to start making changes now to make sure that you're focusing on the things that are most important? Your family, are you making enough time to be with your family? Your health, are you eating healthily? Are you doing exercise? Are you going to the gym? And it's not just physical health as well, it's also mental health. A lot of people maybe don't realize it, and some people are aware of it, that they have maybe anxiety or depression or something like that. But with obviously the stigma that for some reason that we associate with any sort of mental health issue, a lot of people never actually do anything about it. But you should focus on your mental health just as much as you would your physical health. Both are equally important, and you should never feel ashamed about getting either help with either one of them, as they are very, very important to all aspects of your life. And the final thing that I mentioned there was the work-life balance. For me, that is why I kind of changed what I was doing. So I've covered this a few times. A few years ago, I was running my web design business, and despite the fact it was my business, I was still stuck in that kind of 5 days on, 2 days off, which many people are on, working Monday to Friday. I know different people will have shifts and maybe won't be doing Monday to Friday, but they'll still be exchanging a fixed amount of their time for a job, really, instead of their actual lives themselves. So hopefully, if you've watched this video this far, you will take a few moments either now or at some point later today. Just take a few moments for yourself to think about your life. If it was your funeral in 7 weeks, would you have some regrets? If so, what are you going to do about that to make sure you don't have regrets as your life goes on? A lot of people always think, oh, I'll get round to that eventually. And sometimes you never actually get that option to do that. So start making changes now that will benefit you in the long run, whether it's regards to your job, whether it's regards to your health, whether it's allocating time for the things that are most important for you. But just spend a bit of time, focus on you, see where you're at, and make sure you make decisions now that will benefit your future self and your future family in the long run, rather than just kind of getting so caught up in the now, which many of us do. Many of our minds are going at 100 miles an hour all day long, focusing on what's coming or what we don't have, rather than focusing on what we do have and the things that are most important. So I hope you guys have found this useful. If you did, I'd really appreciate if you take a moment, scroll down, hit that like button, and if you want to see more videos from me, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in next week's video.